Man, we have a lot of wrecks here in Pensacola. I'm Captain Andy with Niuhi Dive Charters, and we've been running trips out to a lot of these wrecks and artificial reefs and natural bottoms for about 12 years now. Do a lot of lionfish hunting and spearfishing. The county and the state have done a great job on putting artificial reefs out here. We've got everything from the Oriskany, which is a huge aircraft carrier. We've got a couple Navy dive tenders like the YDT 14 and 15. We've got some great wrecks that I like to go to that nobody really hears a whole lot about, which is the Avocet and the Antares. And then they've done a great job with artificial reefs such as concrete pyramids and reef balls. They do a little bit of research on this before they put a reef down. In fact, they have to get approval to get permitting for these reefs through the Army Corps of Engineers. They also do some sonar and testing to see what's down there. And put down these these artificial reefs on top of stuff that's mostly sands in a good spot. We've got really 3 levels of diving that we offer. We have the near shore, which is more for beginners or newer people or someone who hasn't been out in a while. The mid-range is usually 80 to 100 foot deep. There's a whole pile of pyramids out there. There were about 40 pyramids. You got the old bridge rubble. Seems like we have hurricanes every so often, and the bridges always end up out in the Gulf. When you get to the offshore, which is a little more advanced, usually 90 to 130 foot deep, you've got the Avocet, the Antares. There's one called the Nickelbine, which is really cool. No one really goes there very often. That's a 120 foot deep, cool dive. Then, of course, the Oriskany. The Oriskany sits in about 220 foot of water. Recreationally, we'll dive the top all the way down to 130, no deeper than 130. But we have a lot of tech divers, the technical divers that come out with double tanks and deco bottles and Trimix and helium and all that neat stuff. And they'll want to go all the way down to the bottom to see the props at 220. And they'll also do a lot of exploration, like wreck exploration, where they'll go into the wreck, they'll go into like the barbershop and the dental room and the IT room and the plan room, and it's just amazing how many levels, and it's like a 10-story building with a whole bunch of office. It's like a 10-story office building. There's a lot of rooms in there. So it's great for technical diving, but it's also great for recreational diving too. We'll see tons of stuff. You'll see a lot of tropical fish here, even though the water in the wintertime gets to 60 degrees. You'll see a lot of tropical fish. You'll see everything from little angelfish, big angelfish, to little angelfish, those sharp-nosed pufferfish, some wrasses. You'll find some green moray eels, spotted reticulated eels, big ones, small ones. You'll see a lot more of your pelagic fish, like your red snapper, a lot of red snapper. This is like the red snapper capital of the world. A lot of amberjack, and you'll see things like cobia and amaco jack and mangrove snapper. We'll see flounder at certain times of year. They travel quite heavily in some of the shallower waters, which is fantastic. Goliath grouper, we've seen a lot more Goliath grouper. They're something that they're really great to see. They can be as big as a Volkswagen underwater, and they kind of hang out on the same wrecks. You'll see those on the same places all the time, which is great to see those. A variety of sharks. Yesterday I saw a silky shark. We don't see a whole lot of those. Saw a silky shark, real pointy nose. It was like 9 or 10 foot long. It was a huge shark. But we see a lot of bull sharks and sandbar sharks. And I've only seen 2 tiger sharks in the last 10 years, and one hammerhead. We were sitting there having lunch, and that tiger shark just did circles around the boat, kind of waved at us, and then took off. It was like, oh, you don't see that every day. It was super cool. We see a lot of loggerhead turtles, and once in a while we'll see a leatherback turtle, which is prehistoric looking. Once every couple of years you'll see something that looks like a small raft out there, and it's a leatherback. And I saw the biggest loggerhead turtle I've seen in forever about a week ago, and that thing had to be about this big around. The head was about that big. It was super impressive. I saw it on the surface, and then the divers saw it down below, and then they'll bury their heads in the sand and they'll kind of sleep down there. But those turtles are pretty amazing, and I think they've even said that the first turtles are starting to lay eggs on the beach right now. They had their first, I saw it on the news, they had their first laying of the eggs, so they'll hatch in a few months. So we've got a lot of variety of things out here. Certain times of the year you'll see a large jellyfish population. You'll see some just little round jellies. You see big moon jellies with hardly any tentacles, and then once in a while you'll see the sea nettles, which are small jellyfish with little tentacles that will burn you so bad you wish you'd never got in the water. But we haven't seen a ton of those. You just got to watch out for where you're diving. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff out here. Very lively. I think we got more fish and life out here in our part of the Gulf of Mexico than most any place else.